Hello everyone, how you guys doing? I hope you guys are all having a great day. Welcome back to my next part of the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy. So let's continue where we left off. So last time we had a little crazy thing actually happen during the trial. Let's continue, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so remember is that, creepy person, whatever, kidnapped, Trucy and took her to the lobby. Trucy? You move quick, Apollo. Good show, good show. Trucy, you're okay? I thought... Yeah, I think that was probably an act. I think Trucy was in on it. Sniff, sob, ball? Don't cry, Apollo. You're those good-for-nothing gangsters. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait, just calm down, Apollo. Or else. What the heck is that? Surprised? This is one of my best tricks, the amazing Mr. Hat. You look, marvelous, darling. He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar. Yes, I am a big hit, haha. Well, what do you think? Do you like it? You mean you, Trucy. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Apollo, now is not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. Huh? Remember what you said to Wocky's father yesterday. You promised you'd save his son. But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do? Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. If I can use my talent to stop that from happening, I will. Brucey, no more stage abductions, please. I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness isn't confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all we've got. You can see, what he's feeling? Think back, Apollo. Think back to the times when there was a contradiction in his testimony. All the times. All the times there was a contradiction. Well, I think I remember them, sure. There were 2 times when he made statements he wasn't confident in. And each time there was a contradiction. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. He said the man tossed aside a pistol. But it turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough, there was a contradiction. Well, that's true, but how does that help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he wasn't confident in, he displayed a certain habit. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. He's looking at the book, he's not keeping eye contact with you. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book. How am I supposed to see that? Well, I could see it. How else do you think Daddy, went 7 years without losing a game of poker? What? I always sat next to Daddy during big matches. I could see what his opponents were feeling. You mean that's how Mr. Right won all those games? It's not cheating officially. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything. And I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy's quite good at poker after all, but not good enough to go undefeated that long. Great, so he cheated, but what does that do for us? I don't believe this. You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony, perceive the truth. Watch a testimony, perceive the truth. The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm going to lose. Not true. Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo. Mr. Wright said that. Watch the testimony, perceive his true feelings. Is he serious? Time's up. Sorry, I can't think of any other way out of this one, Apollo. What was that, he said before the trial started? Huh? Mr. Wright's not here today. He said his old foot injury was acting up. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine as long as you're there, Trucy. Is this what he meant by us being fine? Well, methods aside, she did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show this core what I'm made of. Get ready for justice. Let's do it. Apollo. You know, I'm starting to think I can do this. I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing. Try to cover for Mr. Hat as best you can. I just flew in from the coast, and boy are my arms tired. Right. Yeah, so I figured it was some kind of trick. I thought that it was originally Phoenix that was pretending to be that guy. Okay, let's see if we can bring this guy's testimony down. Court is now back in session. Right, we're fine. I'd like to say to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice. Oh, you mean me? Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the mysterious phantom in the silk top hat? Ah, right, him. Don't worry about him. I settled that. You settled that? Yes, it was an out-of-court settlement, right? Perhaps Fraulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right? I think he's onto me. I wish he would stop being so cool. Let's dispense with these niceties and get straight to the matter. What are your plans for our gifted witness? Right. The defense would like to request another cross-examination. Because I forgot to ask something. There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, however, but this court will not permit stalling for time. Understood, Your Honor. Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. From shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. It's this. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. It's the third statement. Not sure I'm qualified to watch testimonies after all. Focus, Apollo. Find his weak spot. I wonder if that phone underneath the car, I wonder if that was his. Focus. If only it were that easy. My ears hear what he says. My eyes see his expression. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? What's this? My bracelet. What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow. I think Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot in his testimony. I know this sounds crazy, but my bracelet is trying to tell me something. This. I want to press that specifically. So you called immediately after witnessing the murder. The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them? Wait, Apollo. This has to be it. Wait, you mean his habit? Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. The only time he even had that book open was here. Which means it's the place to look for this habit. Yeah, a witness in real life would not be able to bring up a book and just be going through pages while giving testimony. I don't know how I know, but I know. Know what? It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Your bracelet. I'm not sure I get this focus stuff you were talking about, Trucy, but I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet is the way to go. Okay, I just need to touch my bracelet triangle as it reacts to the testimony. Perceive? What's this? What's going on? I can see the witness's face. His expression is so clearly. It's filling my mind. I can see nothing else, hear nothing else. This music is really creepy. Apollo? Brucey, what's happening to me? This is what I meant by focusing. Focusing. In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything the witness does. That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out. Yeah. Just look for Mr. Stickler's twitch, his habit. You remember it, right? Sure. When he says something he's not sure of, he fiddles with a page of his book. You got it. Right now, you're looking at the witness's face. And your eyes are sort of bugging out. I'll bet they are. First, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand. His hand. You know what to look for now, but you have to be looking at the right place. He's right, I can only see his face like this. Time to try changing up my viewpoint. Perfect. Now you're ready. Ready for what? Ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch. Perceive. Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then watch for his habit. Right. You mean when he fiddles with the page. That's right. That's your signal to look closer, to perceive with triangle. Find his weak spot and I guarantee you'll be able to give him the royal flush. Spoken like a true pokerhead's daughter. I'm a magician, thank you very much. So I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers. Don't worry, if you miss it, you can always try again. Right. Look out, nervous twitch. Here comes justice.
Gotcha!
I saw it. Just now. I could see it. But, Mr. Justice, do you have something to say? All this banging of desk is quite bad for my, circulation, you know. Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Where's your phone? Yep, that's what we're probably gonna ask him. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment you mentioned your cell phone. What are you talking about? I'm curious now about this cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask a few questions? What to ask? Ask to see his phone. Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone. Why? Whatever for. Show me, and you'll find out. Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see. You don't have it? Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone? Yeah, where did you get that? That's the phone from yesterday. Look, a cell phone. Someone dropped it beneath his tires, so remember, that car hit Phoenix right around the same time that the murder actually happened. And so somehow his phone got stuck underneath the car. If the car moved, it would be crushed for sure. I wonder if it belongs to a doctor here. How strange, Mr. Stickler. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment? Wait a minute, what is the meaning of this? This cell phone was found yesterday in the Maractus clinic garage. The Maractus. Why, that's where the victim lived. Here, that's impossible. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? If your cell phone is here, how could you have called the police? It's true. I didn't have my cell phone that night. That is why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone. A payphone? So you didn't call the police on your phone after all. Just where was this payphone located, Mr. Stickler? Well, to indicate it with a startlingly high degree of accuracy, it was right around here. That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie? There can be only one reason. He didn't want the court to know he had lost his cell phone. Because it was found in the victim's garage. What? What are you saying? Mr. Stickler, you broke into the Maractus Clinic garage on the night of the murder. This cell phone tells all. But that's ridiculous. That makes it sound like I snuck into this fellow's garage to commit some crime. As though I were trying to kill him. Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night. Well, yes, but no. This line of reasoning has to be against the rules. Yes, it's true, I lost my cell phone. But you can't prove that I lost it that night. Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicion as to a connection with the crime. Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Strickler to the crime. Oh, he's already connected enough. I just have to prove it. Well, do I have a piece of evidence that can do the job? Can I prove the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder? I'm pretty sure it will be this because the car hit Phoenix that exact same night and hit the paint on here. And it was underneath that car. Is there anything else I might have? Of course I have evidence. Oh? I like your swagger, her forehead. Hit it. The court will see this evidence, Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say. The evidence that proves a cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is... That's a side view mirror. As it so happens, Dr. Maractus' car was in an accident that took place the night of the murder. An accident? An accident. The paint, right in front of the Kitaki house. It happened a little earlier, or after 9 p.m., just outside People Park, our murder scene. Dr. Maractus' car hit a pedestrian. What are you trying to say? From the absence of a mirror, it's clear that the car was parked after the accident. Which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped before the car was parked in that garage, then it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground, right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Strickler, the only time you could have dropped this in that garage was after 9 p.m., the night of the murder in the park. Mr. Strickler, you know what this means. You did break into the victim's garage that night. This is the most unexpected, Mr. Justice. Are you naming the witness as a suspect in the murder of Pal Maractus? No, stop. This is too much. This can't be happening. Prosecutor, say something. I suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Strickler and Pal Maractus. That is other than this. I believe our next testimony will be most revelatory. Is the witness prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I know that face. That's the face of guilt. He's part of this somehow. Strickler's truth. That night, yes, I went to the supermarket. I must have dropped my cell phone on the way back. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all as clear as day. Notice that when he said he dropped the phone, his hands were twitching with the pages, and when he says he saw the killer again, it was him. I saw the defendant at the scene. His twitch with the pages is showing again there. Yes, but your cell phone was lying in a garage. Yes, well, as you can see, my model of cell phone has a defect. It is given to rolling. It's quite a pain when I drop it alongside the road, you know. Looks like a normal cell phone to me. In any case, Mr. Justice, the cross-examination, please. That's funny. My bracelet didn't react at all during that testimony. His nervous habit must not be acting up. I didn't sense anything either, actually. Looks like you're on your own this time around. Right, no problem. I hope here comes justice. At night, yes, I went to the supermarket. So you went shopping, which means you were holding a grocery bag when you witnessed the murder taking place, or he would have been on camera at a supermarket. Just ask which supermarket he was at. Well, yes, of course. Incidentally, the prosecution has received no report of this domestic detail. I think that Clavier knows that Strickler is lying. Mr. Strickler, can you explain yourself? No, I mean, yes, I did go shopping, really. I walked around the supermarket, trying out the free samples. It's a deeply spiritual time for me. I'm sure the store clerks would disagree. You think sampling free food counts as a religion? In any case, that night, I sampled to my heart's content and was on my way back home, yes. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back. That's when you passed in front of the Maractus Clinic. Why, yes, that's correct. That was a pretty suspicious pause there. Mr. Stickler, do you think you could be a bit more specific? Please show us the exact route you took on the night of the murder. Of course. The supermarket is here along the main road. My way home from there takes me past the Maractus Clinic. That is probably when I dropped my cell phone. Yet woe is I walked on, unaware of my loss. And walked right into that fateful park. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. Which entrance did you enter the park from? Well, to be exact, one might say that I went in from the entrance closest to Maractus Clinic. The same entrance our victim used. Did you notice anything when you entered? Wheel marks from a noodle stand, for instance? I have no recollection of such a thing, no. Yet, though I might have missed the tracks, I could not miss what happened next. I'm a keen observer. Of the obvious, you might say. While he was lying about his phone. Look at how nervous he is on this. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all as clear as day. But it was night. You know, that you're able to see all of this so clearly. This part of the testimony is the key, I know it. Did I press him about the killer, the victim, or the noodle stand? What do I press him on? The killer. Are you sure you remember the killer clearly? How many times must I repeat myself? It was him, that unscrupulous, fox-like fellow in the defendant's chair. He was looking even more unscrupulous at the time, no less. He does look a bit like one of those trickster foxes in Legends of Yore. What? I guess the killer's identity is already old territory. Time to ask something new. Are you absolutely sure it was the... Stop asking me the same questions over and over. This isn't some kind of makeup test. What's a makeup test, Apollo? Nothing a good student like you has to worry about. Time to find his weak spot and press it till he breaks. His habit isn't acting up, which means he isn't lying. I was kind of relying on my bracelet to get me through this one. But he's pretty unsettled. The odds are really high that you can get something out of him. The gleam in your eyes, you're a gambler's daughter through and through. I'm a magician, thank you very much. So, if he's not lying, that means that he's probably not telling you something. Okay, let's try pressing on the victim this time now. You could see the victim quite clearly, too. Oh, clear as clear can be, I assure you. I see. So, how'd he look? How? How do you mean, how? Be specific. I mean, in general. The defense will refrain from straining to come up with questions. Find the question that lies in your heart and ask that. Yes, Your Honor. Great, a judge who moonlights as a self-help guru. It's gotta be the noodle stand there, because remember, he said he saw no tracks from a noodle stand. You happen to remember the noodle stand? Quite well, yes. For a student of the sciences, keen observation and healthy curiosity are vital. I remember everything. I could even read the sign. I believe it said, noodle. Yes, that was it. Wait a second. Wait. Wait. Look at what noodle here. Eldoon here. That's the key right there. He messed up on that. Noodle, that was it. He was behind the stand. He saw it from behind. He didn't see it from the front. He's claiming he's lying on the angle he saw it from. For remembering something quite well, it sure took you a while to tell us. And thank you for telling us that a noodle stand sells noodles. Very enlightening. Well, Mr. Justice, what about that sign? Could that be important? Very important. So the sign on the noodle stand said noodle? It appears the defense had just obtained a vital piece of testimony. Is this noodle stand's broth really that delicious? I'll have to go sample the wares one of these days. I think that's worth adding to the testimony as well. I don't think you want to eat there, Judge. Probably not healthy. Whatever sort of noodles that stand sells, it can't match up to IVU's cafeteria. Some apply to the school merely for a taste of our smart noodles. I wouldn't mind a taste of that myself. Look at this. Why, I even remember the sign of the stand the victim was pulling. It said noodle.
Hold it!
So the sign said noodle, you're absolutely sure? He's doing it again. Let me be frank, yes. In fact, the word unsure isn't even in my dictionary, not the word uncertain or... He was wasting time looking that stuff up. Noodle, eh? I like that, it tells you what you're getting, no nonsense. Tells me a lot more than that, actually. Why are you smiling like that, Apollo?
Objection!
And you're absolutely sure the sign read noodle? Why, just last week, my professor offered me this praise. At least you have good eyesight, Stickler. I'll give you that. It read, without a doubt, noodle. I see. What? Why are you looking at me like that? In that pity I see in your eyes. Let's take a look at our map, shall we? So you're claiming that when you saw the sign, you were standing... here, was it? Although it would have been a bit hard to read the sign from this spot. You think so? Mr. Stickler, I'd like you to please take another look at the stand. And to carefully read what the sign says. See, the sign actually states the name of the stand's owner. Yeah, so he had to be on the other side of it. So, no, so... he was lying in where he was standing. He was standing right here because it says El Dune. On the other side, it says Noodle. But then he said L, and then he said noodle afterwards. He took a pause because he was thinking about what he was gonna say. He was lying. El Dunes. Inconceivable. I'm certain it was definitely noodle for sure. Positive. I'm afraid your professor was wrong about that eyesight. I wouldn't be so quick to jump on that conclusion. The sign he saw changes everything. The witness says the sign said noodle. El Dune is noodle backwards, though. What would you say if I told you that there is one spot from which the sign would be read that way, the way Mr. Stickler claims? What? Mr. Justice, show us this spot. The witness actually viewed the stand, from this location. Point to the relevant spot. It would have to be here, then. I'm trying to think. Yeah, he would have to be right here. This is where he would have to be, then. The witness was standing here, on the opposite side. How do you know that? When viewed from the south, the sign on the stand reads El Dunes, as we know. However, observe the other side of the stand. Oh, this side says Noodle. Exactly. The name of the stand is split between the front and the back signs. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court. You witnessed the crime from the northern side of the park, not the south. Yow, you got me. So what? So what? What does it matter if you saw the killing from the north or the south side? It makes no difference at all. He's right. Travel far enough to the south and you will end up going north. Viewed on a global scale, directions are utterly without meaning. Actually, maybe he's right. What does it change? It changes everything, Apollo. Brucey. Remember his testimony from before. Though, to be honest, I'm a little scared of where this is leading. The killer and the victim are facing each other here. Then at the moment, the killer raises his weapon. Mr. Strickler shouts. At which point, the victim turns his head to look. And the killer fires his pistol. Right, but if he was on the other side, his head would be looking the other way. He got shot in the right temple. That's why the bullet hit him in the right temple, yeah. Because if he... Yup. No contradictions, right? Right. But if Mr. Strickler was standing on the north side of the park, that reverses the whole scenario. Completely. Mr. Strickler shouts from where he is now, and the victim looks in his direction. The bullet would have to hit his left temple. In other words, someone standing at point K couldn't shoot the victim in his right temple. It's impossible. That's right. So now we know that Mr. Strickler was standing on the northern side. The wound location takes an entirely different meaning. Indeed, you are absolutely correct, Fraulein. What meaning? The entry wound was on the right side of the victim's head, correct? Well, the right side of the victim's head is north. North, But that's where the witness, Wesley Strickler, was standing. Correct. So if he was standing to the north, then the only person here who could have shot the victim in the right temple was Mr. Strickler himself. Order, order, order! Wow, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. He's flipped this whole case on its head while I was still figuring it out.
Objection!
Clarify one point for me if you would, Herr Forehead. What now? Are you truly accusing this college student of murder? Well, I can't say he exactly looks innocent, but something still doesn't feel right. I just can't picture him as the real killer. I can't either. No, please, look aside. I'm just really a nice guy. All my friends say so. Let's hear what the defense has to say. What are you going to do now, Justice? Should I really accuse Mr. Strickler? Save here just in case. But I don't think Strickler is the killer. But I think he's guilty of something else. He might be the one responsible for the panties being stolen. Accused of another crime. I don't think Wesley Strickler is a killer, but he's not innocent either. His unusual silence tells me that much. Mr. Strickler, you seem unusually quiet. Tell us why now. The word confession isn't in my dictionary. Tisk, Herr Forehead. I'm afraid it falls to you to elucidate, Herr Strickler's silence. Mr. Justice, you did say you were accusing the witness just now. For a crime other than murder. Your reason. Court's all ears. I know he's guilty of something. But what crime other than murder is there? We have evidence that shows his involvement in some other crime. Your evidence. The court's all eyes, Mr. Justice. Show us evidence that points to witness involvement in a crime. What was he really doing? I think he's the one who's stealing the panties. The evidence is this. Yeah, because the panties were inside the exhaust in the car, which means he was in that garage. What? Is that women's underwear? Hey, those are mine. Don't look at me like that. So there was like a pause of him being calm and then freaking out. Order, order, order! Mr. Strickler. While I can't say this comes as a shock, it's not what it seems. On the night of the murder, just past 9 p.m., a young girl catches a panty snatcher red-handed. Bravely, she gives chase, but the snatcher flees. That's how Trucy recognized him. Remember at the start of the trial, she said he looked familiar, so I was right, he was the panty thief. And hides himself in no other place than the Maractus Clinic garage. Aha! Incidentally, these panties were found in the exhaust pipe of the car there. Presumably, he was trying to hide the evidence of his crime. Ergo, while you may not be a murderer, you are guilty of panty snatching in the first degree. What? Please, hear me out. It's not what it looks like. Order, order, order! Mr. Strickler, you should be ashamed. It's not what it seems. So, are we to understand that you were silent not because you were guilty of murder, but because you lacked the courage to admit your theft of this girl's undergarments? Perhaps you are not aware that my school's name was originally written IV. I stands for intelligent, V stands for valiant, see? Your point? I'm not done now. I'm a major in the science department. And what does science teach if not curiosity? Yes, we of the IVU science department are valiantly curious. No challenge is too daunting, and what greater challenge is science than a mystery? Come on, you're talking about a girl's panties here. No, you do not understand. A mystery is the unknown, and the unknown is unacceptable. And my friends, when it comes to mysteries, those panties are the promised land. From the moment I first laid eyes on them, I was compelled to investigate for science. A full-size car tire was the only first. A full-size car tire was only the first mystery those panties revealed. A tire? Yes, I saw her do it. She pulled a tire out of those panties. But that's not all. First there was the tire, then a stew pot, and a frozen chicken. One mystery after another. It was magic. Oh, I remember now. He's one of the regulars in the audience at the Wonder Bar. Huh? He's talking about my magic panties trick. So he stole her panties because he wanted to see how she does those magic tricks? I just don't understand. A broom from a pair of panties, it mocks the very laws of physics. A broom and a frozen chicken, Trucy. Whatever happened to doves and bunny rabbits? Mr. Strickler, you stole this girl's panties to understand a magic trick? You say panties, but they are so much more than that. For me, they are an object for serious study. I wonder, there has been a recent rash of panty snatchings in the area. Were they all you? I am sorry, but I did it for science. Each time I spied a pair of panties flapping in the breeze, I thought maybe this would be the pair that would elucidate the memory. Even that night, as she chased me through the streets, I wept tears of joy. Perhaps it's the night that I will seize the truth that lies within those panties. Yet woe was I, for once the lacy heart-patterned truth slipped through my... Still, that leaves one thing unexplained. You refer to our witness's other lie, yes. The witness claimed he saw the crime from the south, but was in fact in the north. Indeed. Would anyone care to explain why he lied about that? Be my guest, her forehead. Me. Did I not hear you correctly? Did you not say, do not accuse the witness of murder? Why then did the witness lie about his location at the time of the shooting? Or have you no idea? Hollow. There's something about the way the diagram is arranged right now. When you think about it right, near where Mr. Strickler is standing, isn't there a... Well, Mr. Justice, what say you? Do you have any evidence to show why the witness lied about his location? Evidence to show why he lied about his location. Alright, the map. I fail to see this evidence relates to our witness's fabrication. As do I, but I'm sure it does. Somehow. Somewhere. No, it's not that. Penalty. Okay. Why did the witness lie about his location? Oh, because... It's this. Because he stole the panties from the Kitaki house. That's why. It was because he was breaking into the Kitaki house. That's why. The evidence that shows why he lied is this. What? More panties? How many panties are you carrying in your pocket, her forehead? No, these are the last, honest. These were found in a trash can at the park. Looking at the diagram, we can see that the trash can was right next to where the witness stood. Right, because the panties were in the garbage that was there. Mr. Strickler, you didn't. Alas, I'm a failure as a scientist. I can't unravel the mysteries of the universe. I can't even unravel a pair of panties. So, these panties are your handiwork as well? That night, I had been chased, hounded into the Maractus clinic garage. Weeping in frustration, I was forced to abandon my prize. Don't you see how I felt? Believe me, I'd rather not. I hid in the garage for a short while. Then, abandoning the panties, I made for home. To avoid the office where the girl works, I went towards the south entrance. When I saw them hanging there on a clothesline by a giant mansion. A giant pair of panties. Okay, this is getting really creepy. Apparently he didn't know those bloomers belonged to the mob. I had them safe in my pocket, ready to take home. When I stumbled upon a murder. The murder of Dr. Maractus. I reported what I had seen, but as I waited for the police to arrive, I got scared. What if they searched me? That's when you dispose of the bloomers. Yes, it was a severe blow to the progress of science, but one that had to be borne. A fascinating, if disturbing tale. I believe this brings today's proceedings to a close. And I'm more than pleased to dismiss the witness for the remainder of the trial. One last thing, if I might. Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. Regardless of where we ended today, some vital points were made. Namely that the defendant, Wocky Kitaki, was at the scene of the crime. And he was pointing a weapon at the victim. One more thing. Wocky Kitaki has a clear motive. Indeed, the defendant, Wocky Kitaki, is still the prime suspect in this case. The only suspect, in fact, assuming there was no one else in the scene at the time. Yet, a mystery remains. The location of the wound in the victim's right temple has yet to be explained. The court requests further investigation from both the defense and the prosecution. So, my theory on this is he was shot in the right temple. And I think that maybe he killed himself. Maybe it was suicide. Because the gun was fired 2 times. Why was the gun fired twice? But fingerprints were wiped. The guy was a doctor, so he's probably going to be wearing gloves. which is why the gun has no fingerprints. What if the gun is not Wocky's, but it's the doctor's gun, and he actually killed himself? That might also be a possibility. Yeah, baby. No problem. Very well, this brings the trial for the day to a close. Court is adjourned. Okay, so that was a quick part. This was probably the shortest part we did so far. Every single time it's to be continued, that's pretty much where I leave it off. So I guess we're going to see exactly what happens on the next part. Next part, we'll probably find out who the killer is, you know, what's going on. But that was, I knew there was something off about that witness, and my gut feeling was there, that he wasn't guilty of murder, but then the panties, yep, that's how Trucy had recognized him. He was a regular at her shows, and he basically had taken the panties. So we'll just leave it off here then, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. If you did, do drop a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.